welcome to Wisdom with Grace Yoga. My name is Sophie and I am your manifesting yogini. Today on our channel we are manifesting the perfect Chaturanga Dandasana. So the perfect Chaturanga Dandasana, of course, is the one that's perfect for your body. That being said, there are ways to make Chaturanga more accessible, more skillful, and more efficient. Chaturanga Dandasana is a posture that we see in any vinyasa style classes, from beginner level to all the way up to advanced. However, it is a very, very challenging posture, and if you don't have the strength for it, it can make it even more challenging. So today we're going to be utilizing a few props as we workshop this posture. I have a couple of blocks. I have a nice, thick, firm bolster. And I have one of these booty bands. So if you're ready, let's begin and explore and play with this posture. Let's talk about the arms and the hands a little bit in the posture. So I'm just going to stand right here on my knees. Press your hands out and then draw the elbows in. A common cue you'll hear in this posture is to hug the elbows into the sides. This cue is usually used by teachers because as teachers we look around the room, and when we cue this posture from plank coming into Chaturanga, what we often see is people coming into more of a traditional push-up with their elbows way out here. So it's actually a very good cue to draw the elbows in. However, the action actually isn't drawing them in, it's actually pulling that elbow downward or towards the heels when we're in the posture. So let's play with that a little. I want you to press your hands forward, palms facing forward. And then drawing the elbows in, and just find a neutral stance here, drawing the rib cage slightly in, drawn through the collarbone. And see what happens when you squeeze the elbows into your sides. How does that feel to you? What sort of muscles are firing up here? And then release, shake it out, roll out your wrist a little here. Now bring your arms forward, palms facing forward. Bring your elbows down. And now start to pull the elbows towards the floor as if there's a magnet underneath your elbows being magnetized by the floor below you. And see what that does to your postural muscles. It's a subtle difference. And release. So the other thing that sort of happens in this posture is our wrist. So if I might do another video on wrists, but let's just stretch out our wrists for a moment here. So pressing the palm forward again and just taking one finger at a time, reaching it back, doing what feels good here. Maybe taking all 4 fingers and then palm fingers down, stretching the back of the palm forward. And then other side. And down. And then just do a few wrist rotations here. So bring your hands back into that position, palms facing forward. And then drawing the elbows in. Now notice here what's happening with your wrist. Are you finding that nice like box shape here, or are your hands a little more forward? I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but maybe your hands are a little more forward like this. That just means that you have some flexibility issues or mobility issues through the wrist, which can be solved a couple ways. One, through consistent practice. Eventually, you will get more to flexion. The other way we can resolve this is to slightly turn the fingers out and then drawing the elbows in. That's another cue that you can use if you find that when you bring the elbows in, your elbows are still wide here, and you actually physically can't bring them to your rib cage. That could also be something that we do, is turning the hands out so the thumbs are pointed up and then drawing the elbows in. So let's try that, bringing the palms forward, turning the fingers out, and then drawing the elbows in, and then pressing the elbows down. See how that feels here. And a gentle knit of the rib cage. Good. Now let's practice this posture with some props. Grabbing your blocks. Placing on the lowest setting here, and then placing the bolster right on top, like so. I'm just going to adjust this. And just relax right on down. You may need to scoot a little farther forward. All right, so let's get into position here. The toes are tucked under and the heels directly over the balls of the feet, or as much as possible. And then the hands come right underneath the elbows. I don't have an image here, so you may want to take pictures of yourself in this posture. It's one of those good ones to take pictures, because sometimes we can't always feel what's going on. So your wrist might be coming off, hands might be coming off the floor here. That just means maybe you try turning the fingers out, maybe walking the fingers a little farther forward. So I don't know if I mentioned this, Chaturanga is the foundation for all arm balances. So a strong, stable foundation with this alignment of wrists stacked underneath elbows is essentially going to make our arm balances a little steadier and easier to hold. And that is the objective of all postures according to the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. That we find a way to hold the postures in a steadiness and ease. And that's why there's a lot of bone stacking. Anyway, that was a bit of a tangent. So now we found yourself here in your Chaturanga posture. Some actions to take here. So draw the elbows towards the heels. Gently press the heels away. Notice what that does here with the legs. And tailbone, so normally we say, you might hear tailbone tucked, but sometimes people can over-exaggerate that. So I like to say outer hips in, drawing the low belly up and in, and then a gentle lift of inner thighs. I don't know if you can see what's going on in my body, but I feel it starting. And then pull the crown of the head forward, gently press the back of the skull towards the ceiling. All right, so hold here. Keep dragging the elbows back, rooting through all 10 knuckles of the hands. All right, so now you're in your Chaturanga posture here. For funsies, let's come into usually the next posture of the sequence of sun salutations is up dog. So from here, start to drag the hands towards the feet, broaden out through the collarbone, shoulder blades down the back. Inhale, rise up to, not cobra, up dog. Good. You'll see this is challenging. Keep drawing the low belly in. And then release down. Tops of the feet to the mat. So let's try that up dog again. So normally we'll hear tops of the feet to the mat. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Draw your elbows back. Low belly tucks in. And rise up to your up dog from here. Keep pressing through the tops of the feet. And exhale. Release down. Good. So that was so you can actually feel the posture in your body without straining or having the forces of gravity to contend with. Now we're going to work on building strength for the posture. So for me in this class, most vinyasa classes, I will probably do one chaturanga just to see if I can do it. And most of the rest of the time, I am doing a low eccentric lower down. So from our tricep push-up, we slowly lower down. This is usually what I teach in my classes, my beginner levels. So coming into a tabletop position, walk your hands about a palm's distance forward and send your hips down. Knees are about hips distance apart, and reach your shoulders right over the wrist. One thing you can do here is set up a block, one right behind the wrist and one where the shoulder will tap down. And again, turn the hands out if you need here. Drag the elbows back and slowly lower down and then press back up. Keep drawing the low belly in. Let's do 2 more of those. 1. Inhale down, exhale. Okay. Sometimes people will cue exhale on the way down. That's usually, you can do either. Try both. Try inhale down, exhale up, exhale down, inhale up. See which feels better for you and your body. So that is one way you can build strength. If you're in a vinyasa class, usually I'll go from Chaturanga, this low lower tricep push-up, all the way up to cobra. So I don't usually teach up dog. So what that looks like, and I can't really do this too well, but we're going to lower all the way down, and then you just kind of plop down. So the way, depending on how strong you are. And then from here, tops of the feet, inhale, arching up into a cobra, Dandasana. So, and I know you're all wondering, what is the booty band for? This is another way we can add strength. So I recommend getting one of these pretty heavy-duty ones versus the rubbery ones. It's going to give you a little bit more support. You'll see why. And I just got this, I think, at Target. So we're going to place the booty band right above the elbows. And then coming right from plank, you can also practice this on the knees. And then practicing here. Plank. You can press the heels back and forward. It's a lot. And you can even hold out, hang out here in your play with your chaturanga here. Elbows back, out, belly in. Whew. So I hope this gives you some ideas to play with, to work on, to explore your chaturanga, and hopefully you can manifest your perfect chaturanga for your body. Let's work that booty.